So I was sitting there thinking, I seen a couple of videos, a couple of little other pieces of information that had me thinking, is Katt Williams being set up? You got to ask the question, is Katt Williams being set up? When you really sit back, we pretty much all kind of just jumped the gun with this dude, Billy Soros, or whatever his name is. We all just kind of took on the narrative that he was putting out from the door. When I sit and think about it, if I would have heard about this situation with Reggie Carroll without the Billy Soros dude putting the narrative out, I mean, I was already on that at least a deep thing, so because my mind was already there, I might have would have thought that for a split second. But that aside, I wouldn't have not came to the conclusion that Katt Williams had something to do with it. What I would have thought is that somebody maybe would have was trying to come to Katt Williams' property, to his place, maybe to do him some harm, to rob him, do something to him, maybe and got hit, or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to think about how this into us. And the other thing that I realized is that I heard somebody say, I forget what it was, a key something, some channel. When you really think about it, the dude Billy Soros had the information before the goddamn police reported it. He knew the Joker's name. He had a mugshot. He had a whole narrative before it even was public information. If you go back and look at the dates and the articles and how the news came out, he actually knew the dude's name, exactly what happened. He said he got shot a couple. I don't think he said with a shotgun specifically, but he said he got shot 5 times. I think he said he knew all these intricate details before the news even reported. I'm talking about this Billy Soros dude. And obviously, Billy Soros has some type of issue with Katt Williams. Obviously, it don't take a genius to realize that. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, were we all just duped? Is Katt Williams being set up? You see, Shannon Sharp just got, even though he walked himself into this shit, was still a setup. I'm sure it was both his own stupidity, along with him being set up by this girl. Probably some shady ass lawyer. Who knows who else behind the scenes? Probably because people might be mad because of this Katt Williams situation. Shannon Sharp and Katt Williams both made a lot of enemies with that interview. And Shannon Sharp made a lot of money. I don't know how much money Katt Williams made off it. I don't know what their agreement might have been, or if they had an agreement or a contract or something like that. But I know for damn sure Shannon Sharp made it millions of dollars off that interview. I think that's like the biggest, or one of the biggest interviews, or biggest monetized interviews in YouTube history, or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But because I'm sitting there, I'm like, where did this Billy Soros? Why did he come out with such a convicting agenda, a convicting narrative right away from the door? Why was he so comfortable that he knew all this shit that happened? And if he, and obviously he did, and who told this Joker this shit? Where did he get this information from? He knew the facts. He wasn't wrong about nothing he said. The Billy Soros dude, he knew exactly what he was talking about. So that begs you to ask the question, where did this Joker get his information from? Who told this boy all this? It had to be somebody that was there when this shit happened. There had to be somebody else at the scene when this shit happened, because how would he know intricate details before the news even reports on him? Think about that shit. Like, we all just kind of just took what he said and jumped the gun and went on the Katt Williams attack. Like, oh, this Joker ain't there. This is at his property. This just don't look right. Where you at? Even me, I'm still saying, regardless of the fact that he could have still came out and said, like, R.I.P., my heart goes to the family. Just for the fact that the dude's on Katt Williams' tour. Now, it is possible that Katt Williams might not be personally cool with him. He might not be a personal up close, because he's on the tour. He's an opener. You know what I'm saying? He might not be somebody Williams really knows for real. But at the same time, being as though public perception is going to be that we know this dude's on your tour, it don't look right, this property. And also what the DA said. Damn, it slipped my mind. I had it in my mind what I was going to say, but I can't remember what the DA said. It was something that was like a real red flag that stuck out to me. I was like, this shit sounds weird. The DA, what exactly did he say that had me thinking like, because when I first made my first video about it, I only had seen a clip of it. Then the second, I made a video, my last video I made was after I seen like the whole entire the DA's press conference. But it was something he said specifically. I can't even think of what the damn. I should have tried to. I should have jotted it down or something. Something that he said specifically that was really weird. That was out of pocket. That seemed real shady. I can't remember what the hell it was. Goddamn, I should have wrote this shit down before I did this live. But there was something that DA said that was a real red flag that pointed to some kind of collusion or some type of something weird was going on. And what did that DA say up there? It was something he said that had me like that really raised my goddamn eyebrows. I was like, what did he say? That don't sound right. I can't think of it, but even the DA himself was shady himself too. Like his whole disposition, his whole demeanor was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta ask the question: was this shit? Is Katt Williams being set up? Where did Billy Sorrells get this information from? Because he was right about everything he went out there and said, but he had this information days before the fucking police even reported about it. With specifics anyway. There might have been an article out that something might have happened, but he knew exactly what happened, exactly who it was, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what this. And hit the like button if you're up in there. And the thing with Katt Williams, if he's being set up, I get why he's not saying nothing. Like I understand that. Plus, you don't want to say make a real statement anyway, outside of my heart goes out to the family or something like that. But something about this is real weird, man. I mean, we can easily go the sacrifice route, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But something is just not adding up with this shit still. We allowed Billy Sorrells to come out here and put a narrative out here, and pretty much everybody just ran with it right from the door. Like I said, without that Billy Sorrells dude narrative right away, like I said, I was already thinking, like, cause I was already made the video about Ali Sadiq, so not, of course, that had nothing to do with him, but I might have been thinking something like on some crazy, but outside of that kind of crazy shit, my first real base logical thought would have been that somebody was trying to do something to Katt Williams, and maybe Reggie Carroll got harmed in the middle of it. Like maybe they was trying to come rob Katt Williams' house or the place he's renting out, whatever it was. I wouldn't have automatically just went to Katt Williams had something to do with it, or maybe he did it himself. Like this shit all came from that Billy Sorrells dude. If you think about it, this shit all came from him. If he was just talking shit, then that would be one thing. But he knew everything. Everything he came out and said in that first video was 100% accurate. He knew every goddamn thing he was talking about, down to the dude's last name being Williams. He knew the whole entire story. He said he got shot 5 times. He didn't say with a shotgun at that point because he didn't mention that, but he knew he got shot a couple times. He knew the whole entire story right from the door. So somebody else had to be in that house when this shit happened that told this boy Billy Sorrells what's going on. And this is ironic, like I said in my very first video about it. It's ironic how it's like the Kevin Hart series that he did called True Story with Wesley Snipes, which was, I made a video about that when I first seen it, because that was a dope ass freaking show. That shit was, I liked that show a lot. I watched that shit like 20 times already, probably, that Kevin Hart True Story miniseries thing he had on, that little thing. But it's ironic how this Katt Williams shit is kind of like that. Not exactly, but kind of the storyline is kind of like what happened on that True Story shit with Kevin Hart. It's weird, man. This shit is just real weird. Hit the like button. Hit the goddamn like button if you're up in there. But yeah, man, I'm sitting there thinking like this narrative got kind of thrown out, and we could have all kind of maybe just jumped the gun on Katt Williams because of the narrative that this Billy Sorrells dude put out there. If you really think about it. That's about it. Got to get me some gas. Yeah, like I said, think about that. Billy Soros put this narrative out, and we all just kind of fell for this shit. He said that's impossible unless the security is setting them up too, but not exactly because the security might got from what everybody's saying he's a crazy dude, just like the Reggie dude was Reggie Carroll. Somebody might have some dirt on him, the security dude. He might be in a situation to where it's like, dude, you better take the fall for this, or we got something else on you we gonna put out. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways to take people down. Like it's not always black and white. They be having dirt on people. You gotta understand when people are in the industry, they be following people, surveillance, all this shit for years, forever. They got all kind of dirt and information on these people, especially when they're black. You know what I'm saying? They filed not even just black, all these big time people. That's about it though. I gotta get some gas and shit I gotta do. But think about that, man. Hit the like button before you get up out of there. But think about that. Is Katt Williams being set up